Okay. Assalamualaikum and hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. Hari ini saya ada bersama dengan kuliah asing for revision and the subtopic is bank reconciliation from chapter 6 accounting for cash, but I just want to focus for bank reconciliation, and I hope that all of you had prepared the answer. So we just make a revision based on the blue book. So kalau ikutkan the kehadiran, okay, dah ada 14. Saya rasa saya tak boleh menunggu because we have to be punctual. Ciri-ciri pelajar cemerlang, kita haruslah menepati masa. So tanpa membuang masa lagi, saya menjemput saudara Irfan untuk memulakan bacaan doa. Dipersilakan.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wa anshur alaina min hazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Alright. Okay, this is the topic berkaitan dengan bank reconciliation. Now, sebelum saya start, saya nak tengok message sekejap ya. The message from Waalaikumsalam. Kita tunjuk sekejap ya. Okay, Waalaikumsalam Cikgu SMDD. Okay, hi teacher. Zin. Bagus. Siapa yang datang awal ni is very good. Masuk punctual. Kina. Waalaikumsalam. Nurina. Good morning Cikgu. Okay, good morning. Hadira. Morning Cikgu. Morning. Zulaika. Morning Cikgu. Morning. Nurul Nadia. Waalaikumsalam. Cikgu cantik. Yelah tu nak bodek. Okay, saya bagi KitKat secara maya. Okay, now kita nak mula ya for this topic. So make sure you focus for this topic because before you prepare the bank reconciliation, there are a few steps that you have to follow. Now kita nak start. Alright. Irfan, nampak clear tak the statement?
Nampak?
Nampak ya? Okay. Alright, thank you. Now kita nak start with question number 1. Okay. Before you prepare the bank reconciliation, you have to follow a few steps. There are 5 steps. Number 1, the first step you have to compare the beginning and the ending of cash book with the bank statement. That one is number 1. You have to compare the ending balance for cash book with the bank statement, the ending balance. Normally we take the ending balance and sometimes we look at the opening balance. Number 2, you have to compare the debit item in the cash book with the credit item in the bank statement. Number 3, you have to compare the credit item in the cash book with the debit item in the bank statement. Number 4, we must find any error. Normally, the company will make a mistake in the cash book. And the last one, the 5th step, we have to prepare the bank reconciliation. Now, this is question number 1. You can look at question number 1 given. Normally, the question will give you the bank statement and the cash book. Okay, now this is the this is the bank statement. Given the number of check, the details, debit, credit, and the balance. So the first step, you must compare the balance of bank statement not equal to the cash book. Okay, you can see the balance is not equal. Okay, the balance for cash book 29,790. 90, and for bank statement is 30,400. So you can see the balance for cash book does not match with the bank statement. So we have to prepare the bank reconciliation. The second one, we must compare. Okay, this is the color yellow. So you must compare the debit item for cash book with the credit item in the bank statement. Okay, you can see this one. So the number for 6,000, 8,000, 9,000, 5,500 for bank statement equals to the debit item in the cash book. But there are a few items that we can find out the yellow color. There is item that record in the cash book. Okay, this one recorded in the cash book, but not in the bank statement. Okay, this one 6,600 recorded in the cash book, but not in the bank statement. The amount for 9,000 and 6,600. And the second one, for the credit side for bank statement, that means the check in, the cash receipt or check receipt. So you can see in the credit side for bank statement, there is a record in the bank statement, but not record in the cash book. Okay, you have to prepare the bank reconciliation to match. This number should be equal. And number 3, we must compare the third step. Okay, you can see the third step. We must compare the credit item in the cash book, and we compare with the debit item in the bank statement. The credit item in the cash book, that means cash payment or check payment. And the debit side in the bank statement, that means debit side that means check payment also. So you can see there are a few color. The green color show that there is a record in the bank statement for bank charges, but not record in the cash book. And you can see the blue color, it show that there are 3 pieces of check. Okay, 3 pieces of check. Okay, the total for 3 pieces, this number 449, 448, and 447 belong to the previous month. Okay, you look at the additional information. Okay, you can see from your notebook the information that these 3 pieces of check. Okay, you can see 3 pieces of check. The total is 7,250 were issued in July. So, but not recorded, not paid by the bank. So we just ignore for that number of check because that one we have record in the month of July. Now we look at the credit side of cash book. So it means that in the cash book, this item have been recorded, but not recorded in the bank statement. This one we call outstanding check in the credit side. And for debit side, it means that in the cash book, we have record this item 6,600, but not record in the bank statement. So this one represent for deposit in transit. And we look at the bank statement. Okay, you must know how to compare between cash book and bank statement. So these 3 items, these 3 pieces for checks, 3 pieces of check have been recorded in the previous month for the month of July. So we just ignore. And for green color, it means that we have recorded in the bank statement, but not recorded in the cash book. And for this part, we have recorded in the bank statement, check received, but not recorded in the cash book. What should you do? We have to add in the cash book, and for this amount, we have to deduct from reconciliation cash book part. Okay, we look at this number 8050. Okay, that one is the third step. The fourth step, we have to find, is there any error? Okay, if you look at the cash book, there is an error in the cash book because we assume that all the information in the bank statement is recorded correctly. So that means there is an error in the cash book. The number 155451, 8,500. But in the bank statement had been recorded correctly 8,050. So there is an error in the cash book. That one we call overstated in the credit side. What should you do? Because we have record overstated. We have to find the amount. Okay, we will show that in the bank statement. And another one, collection notes receivable, the total 4,150 include interest receivable. So we have to make an adjustment in the bank statement. So, so I have complete for four step. Number one, compare the balance. Number two, compare the debit item of cash book with the credit item with bank statement. Number three, we compare the credit cash book with the debit item in the bank statement. And number four, we have to find any error. So we have find out the error in the cash book. And the last one, we have to prepare the bank reconciliation. So you are required to prepare the bank reconciliation for Ahmad Kasa. And the second one, we have to make an adjustment for journal entry. That one is for cash receipt and cash payment. Now we look at the answer. The answer for Ahmad Kasa. So balance as per bank statement 30,400. The one we take for ending balance of bank statement. We have to add check. That one, this one we have record in the cash book but not in the bank statement. So we have to add deposit in transit. The amount is 6,600. Okay, less outstanding check. So this one represent where we have recorded in the cash book but not recorded in the bank statement. So we have to less the amount 1,300 and then we have to less another one, check number 155457. So you get the total 2,660. So this one we call adjusted bank balance. The answer 34,340. So now we look at the adjustment for cash book. Okay, for cash book, just now we find out that there is a record in the bank statement in the credit side but not recorded in the cash book. What should you do? We have to make an adjustment for cash book. So notes receivable 4,000. And in the question, it states that it include interest revenue. So this one represent for interest revenue that we get from notes receivable. So the total for notes receivable plus interest is 4,150 that recorded in the bank statement. And there is an error. The error in the cash book, the amount is 8,500 and less 8,050. There is an error. That one is overstated in the credit side of cash book. What should you do? We have to add the amount 450. So you get the total 4,600. So after that, we have to less bank charges or bank service charges. This item we find out in the bank statement. There is a record in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. What should you do? In the cash book, we have to deduct this amount 50. So you get the answer 34,340. So you can check the bank balance must always equals to the cash balance after you prepare the bank reconciliation. Now we have to prepare the adjusted journal entry. Okay, the amount we must take from the balance, the amount, the item in the cash book. This one, it means that we receive check. And the credit item, that means we have made a payment by check. So we have to prepare the adjusted journal entry. Number one, debit bank credit note receivable. The amount is 4,000. So record notes receivable. Number two, debit bank credit interest revenue. That one is revenue. The amount of asset that is bank increase, and for revenue increase, the amount is 150. So to record interest revenue. Number three, there is an error in the cash book. Just now we have made an adjustment. So debit bank credit purchase. The amount is 450. Record an error. And this one we have made a payment by check, or we have to, the account has been debited in the current account. So debit bank service charges, this is an expenses credit bank. So we have to record bank service charges. So that's all for question number one. So you can find out that the question number one, there is an error. And now we look at the question number two, error overstated also, and there is a reverse error. Reverse error, that means the account has been recorded in the wrong side. So now we look at the question for number two, the statement of Sri Bulan for the month of May. So the first step, we must compare the ending balance of bank statement 103,856. You must compare with the ending balance of cash book, and you find out that the amount does not match. So we have to prepare bank reconciliation. Number two, we must compare the debit item in the cash book with the credit item in the bank statement. So you have to compare. Number three, we have to compare the credit item in the cash book with the debit item in the bank statement. Number four, we must find, is there any error? So you can see the red color represent for error. So the error, we find out the error in the cash book. Based on the question, all the information in the bank is recorded correctly, or in other words, all the information in the bank statement has been recorded correctly. So lastly, we have to prepare the bank statement. So we have to compare the first step. The debit item in the cash book, we must compare in the credit item of bank statement. So you must think. For example, 40,000, 4,900, and 9,300. You can find out in the debit side, you have the same amount. Bank statement, we compare 14,000 with the cash book ada 4,900, 9,300. Yes, that is the amount equal to the bank statement. Now, the amount that not recorded in the bank statement, okay, you can find out the yellow color. Yellow color means that there is a record in the cash book but not record in the bank statement. Or in other words, we said transit, deposit in transit. Okay, that one is number one. Deposit in transit, there are two checks here, two pieces of check, not recorded in the bank statement. Now we look at the credit side of bank statement. You can find out the yellow, okay, there is no yellow color, so that means all these items have been recorded in the cash book. Number three, we must compare the cash book credit side we must compare with the debit side of bank statement. So we can find out the item 12,000, 3,500, 5,000, 3,400, 7,300, 13,700 had been recorded in the bank statement. For green color represent the item where this item has been recorded in the cash book but not in the bank statement. So this one we call outstanding check. We must less in the adjustment for bank statement. Okay, now we look at the debit side of bank statement, the green color. It means that for bank charges, it has been recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So we have to make an adjustment to deduct this amount in the cash book. Okay, number 4, we must find out any error. So there are 2 errors incurred in the cash book. The amount, this is the correct amount, 900, but the amount has been recorded as 9,000 in the cash book. That one is overstated in the credit side. Okay, we have to make an adjustment. And another one, for the item 1,444 has been recorded in the bank statement correctly, but there is an error in the cash book. This item 1444 should be recorded in the credit side, but it is wrongly recorded in the debit side. That one we call reverse error, reversal error. We have to double this amount. First amount we have to cancel the amount we should record in the credit side, and the second one we must record in the correct side, the credit side. So after you follow all the steps, compare debit in the cash book with credit in the bank statement. After that, you compare credit in the cash book with the debit in the bank statement. The fourth step, we must find out the error. There are 2 errors. Number 1, overstated error in the credit side of cash book. And another one, there is a reversal error. The amount has been recorded wrongly in the debit side, should be in the credit side. So we have to prepare the bank reconciliation. Okay, this is the answer. The first one, we must take the amount 103,850 from the bank statement, the ending balance. And then we have to add deposit in transit. It means that we have record in the cash book but not record in the bank statement. So we have to add in the bank statement 320 plus 2,000. So the total for this deposit in transit is 2,320. So you get 106,176. And then you have less the outstanding tax. It means that we have record in the cash book but not recorded in the bank statement. So we have to deduct this amount. The check number 345680, 345683, 5,700 and 1,600. So the total for outstanding check is 7,300, and you will find out the adjusted bank balance is 98,876. Now we have to make an adjustment for cash book. So the balance from cash book, the ending balance 93,764, and we have to add an error overstated. Just now we look at the cash book overstated in the credit side. So we have to add this error 9,000 less 900, you get 8,100. And we have to less deduct all this amount. The error TNB, the record should be in the credit side, but in the cash book had been recorded in the debit side. reverse error. So we have to times the amount, double this amount, 1,444 times 2. So you get 2,888 and less bank service charges that have been recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So you got a total 2,988. So at the end of the month, you will find out that adjusted bank balance 98,876 equals to adjusted cash balance 98,876. So hopefully that you will understand how to record the error. The first one, the error overstated, and the second one, reversal error, the error that had been recorded wrongly in the journal or in the account. Now we go on to question number 3. Okay, number 3, you will find out there is an error, and that this one, debit transfer. That means we have record in the bank statement. Credit transfer we have record in the bank statement, but not recorded in the cash book. So the first step when you look at the question number 3, we must compare the ending balance of bank statement not equals to the balance of cash book. So you look at the first step, the balance for bank statement 6,644 and the balance for cash book 6,207. So you can find out the amount, the balance for this cash book and bank statement not equal. So we have to prepare the bank statement. The second step, we must compare the debit item of cash book with the credit item in the bank statement. So we find out there are a few items not matching. For example, this one is the yellow color, actually not the green color, yellow color. We find out there is a record in the cash book but not record in the bank statement. This one we call deposit in transit. Okay. For the second one, the amount for 542, it means that there is a record in the bank statement but not record in the cash book. So we have to add in the adjustment of cash book credit transfer. And another one, 245, had been recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So we have to add this amount, 452 and 245. Now we must compare in the third step the credit item in the cash book. We must compare with the debit item in the bank statement. So you can find out the amount for 450, 600, 343 match with the bank statement. So we find out this amount 300 had been recorded in the cash book but not recorded in the bank statement. This item we call outstanding check. And look at the bank statement. Okay, there are 3 items that had been recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So we have to deduct this amount in the cash book when you make an adjustment in the bank reconciliation. So number 1, 5 ringgit. Number 2, debit transfer. And number 3, bank charges. We have to make an adjustment in the cash book. Okay, the last step, number 4, we must find out any error. So based on the information, all the information in the bank statement is recorded correctly. And A check of 1,500 deposit on 4th March wrongly recorded as 1,050 in the cash book. So there is an error in the cash book. That one we call understated in the debit side. And another one, a check received from Sabaria for the sum of 1,000 has been recorded as payment. Okay, this one we call reversal error. The amount 100 should be recorded in the debit side, but in the cash book, it has been recorded as payment or in the credit side. So we have to make an adjustment. We have to double this amount. 100 become 200. Now, we look at the error. Okay, the error number one, reverse error or reversal error. This amount should be recorded in the debit side. The company received check. So we have to make an adjustment in the cash book. And another one, the error for 1,050. The correct amount should be 1,500, but we have made a mistake or the company have made a mistake manually in the cash book. So this one we call understated in the debit side. We have to add extra amount. So now we have to prepare the bank reconciliation for Iskandariah Sendirian Berhad. Now, look at the answer for Iskandariah. Number one, must have the title for the company bank reconciliation statement as at 31st March 2015. So we must start with the balance as per bank statement. This one is the ending balance from bank statement 6,644 and add deposit in transit Najib 750. This one, it means that we have recorded in the cash book but not recorded in the bank statement. So we have to add in the bank statement. Number three, we have to compare the cash book with the bank statement. So we find out there is a record in the cash book but not in the bank statement. The check number 890-93 band. So we have to deduct this amount and you get adjusted bank balance 7,094. Now we look at the balance as per cash book. So this is the ending balance from cash book. All right. So, okay, you look at the ending balance 6207. Okay, this one 6207. Okay, now we have to make an adjustment. Okay. After that, we have to add the amount, credit transfer, and interest revenue. It means we have recorded in the bank statement, but not yet in the cash book. So we have to add in the cash book 542,245. And there is an error in the cash book just now. The amount should be recorded as 1,500, but we have made a mistake in the cash book. We just record 1,050. There is an error or understated. So the amount, the different amount we get 450. So we have to add in the cash book 450. Number last one, reversal error or reverse error for the account of Sabaria. The amount 400 should be recorded in the debit side, but in the cash book had been recorded in the credit side. We should double the amount and you get 200. So the total for check that received 1,437 and then less for the payment. The payment that we have made, debit transfer, checkbook, and bank service charges. This item had been recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So the amount for 165, RM5 and RM80, the total for payment is 550. So when you make an adjustment for cash book balance, you will get 7,094. So the amount for cash book balance must equals to the balance of bank statement balance, that is 7,094. So now we go on to the last question, question number 4. Okay, this question we find out there is an error in the cash book and there is non-sufficient fund. It means that check of the check of the customers has been rejected by the bank and standing instruction, the payment that we have made using by bank services. Okay, now this is the bank account. We find out the balance for bank account is 8,354. We must compare with the bank statement or the balance of bank statement. So you can see the balance of bank statement is 8,655. So we have to make an adjustment because the balance for cash book not equal to the balance of bank statement. So the second step, we must compare the debit balance of cash book, or sometimes we must use cash receipt journal. So cash receipt journal represent for cash received in the cash book. So this is the item that does not match with the bank statement. Okay, number one, you can see this color. Blue color represent the number of blue color. This one, cash payment. Okay, we look at the yellow color. The yellow color represent the amount in the cash book had been recorded but not recorded in the bank statement. Okay, this one we call deposit in transit. Okay, number two. Okay, this one number one. So we compare the credit item in the bank statement, the yellow color. Okay, this one is the yellow color. It means that we have recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So we have to make an adjustment. We have to add this amount in the cash book. Okay, that one is the second step. The third step, we must compare the credit item in the cash book. You must compare with the debit item in the bank statement. So this is the item for the credit side of cash book. So we find out the 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 items had been recorded in the cash book but not in the bank statement. So we have to make an adjustment in the bank statement and we call this one outstanding check. Okay, now we compare with the debit side of bank statement, the yellow color. So 250, it means that we have recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book. So we have to deduct this amount in the cash book, 250, and we also must deduct this amount in the cash book. Okay, now we look at the information given in the question. So this is the information. All the information from bank statement were recorded correctly. And check number 410119 issued for Fatima Enterprise had been recorded in the wrong journal. So there is an error. So error have been made in the cash book. So the correct amount is 715 in the bank statement, but had been recorded wrongly in the cash book. This is the amount. Should be recorded in the credit side, but had been recorded in the debit side. So we have to double the amount. And for this blue color, it represents for non-sufficient fund. What should you do? We must deduct non-sufficient fund in the cash book. So you can see in the bank statement, non-sufficient fund. So we must make an adjustment in the cash book. We must deduct this amount. And another one, 2,310. This is the correct amount. And we must compare with the cash book, and there is an error, 2130. So the error had been made in the cash book. So we have to make an adjustment. Now, after that, we have to prepare the bank reconciliation. After they could take into account the outstanding check, deposit in transit, the error, and non-sufficient fund. So now we have to prepare the bank reconciliation. Okay, this one, the green color, it means that we have record in the bank statement, but not record in the cash book. So we must add in the cash book. And yellow color represent that we have recorded in the bank statement, not recorded in the cash book. Now we prepare the bank reconciliation. So you are required to prepare bank reconciliation and also prepare adjusting journal entry. So this is the bank reconciliation for perniagaan seseorang. So first you have to record the name of the company and bank reconciliation statement as at 31st August 2016. So the balance as per bank statement, we take from the ending balance of bank statement 8,651, and you have to add all deposit in transit 2,060 and 637. This one recorded in the cash book, not recorded in the bank statement. So you got the total 2,697. And then you have to deduct all the outstanding check. It means that we have record in the cash book, but not in the bank statement. So we have to deduct all these items. 732, 1,512, 215, 2,400. So the total for deduction is 4,859. And the adjusted bank balance is 6,489. Now, we look at the adjustment for cash book. So the first one, you must take the figure from cash book. What is the amount for cash book? Okay, you must refer to the cash book. The amount for cash book 8354. So this is the balance for cash book 8354. So you must record 8354. Okay, this one 8,354. Okay. After that, you have to add all this amount. Irfan, are you with me? Irfan? Okay. Can you
Yes.
Okay, can you add all this amount? 1,200 plus 1,750 plus 200.
Okey, boleh?
Berapa the answer? Saya tertinggal pula this part. Okay, I think you got 3. Yeah, 3.
11,469.
11,000 ke? Campur dua ni je. Ni,
Heeh.
11,000.
200
1,000.
tak payah.
Ha? Yang ni je. Campur bahagian cash ni. 1,200
200
tambah 1,715 tambah 200.
tambah de oh, ya.
Okey. Saya rasa 3,000.
3,111.
100.
15.
Okey. Okey, dapat berapa? Kamu tambah kedua-duanya. What is the total? 11,000 tadi?
Hmm,
Saya dah kira ni, tertinggal pula.
11,469.
469.
69.
Okey,
Ah,
thank you. Okey, ni the total dia. After that, kita tolak all these item. Purchase, just now the mistake, the error, 2310 tolak 2130. We have record in the bank statement correctly but not in the cash book. Non-sufficient fund, okay, this amount is 3,100. We must deduct in the cash book. And the error, Fatima, this one is reverse error. We have to double this amount. We got 1,430, the insurance 250, and bank service charges. That one we have record in the bank statement but not record in the cash book. So the total 4,980. Alright. So kalau kita tolak for this amount and you get the answer 6,489 for cash balance equal to the balance of bank statement 6,489. And we have to prepare the adjusted journal entry. This one for cash receipt or we receive check, and this one we make a payment. Siapa pula nyanyi tu? Now, this is the adjustment that we have to prepare for cash book part. Number 1, debit bank 1,200, credit rent revenue. You just take only cash book part, not the bank statement. Okay, that one, number 1, the adjustment that we have done. Number 2, debit bank credit account receivable. We record receive from account receivable. This amount we must refer to the cash book from here, okay? This one. These 3 items we receive. We must record receive bank or receive check. And these 5 items we must record as payment. So we continue that one, debit bank, 200 credit dividend revenue. Okay, that one is for receipt part. Now for the payment part, debit purchase, credit bank, the amount is 180 to record an error of purchase. The next one, debit account receivable, credit bank to record non-sufficient fund. The amount is 3,100. And the next one, debit account payable, Fatima, credit bank to record an error for Fatima Enterprise. That one is reversal error. We have to double the amount. And the next one, debit insurance expense, credit bank. The payment that we have made, the amount is 250. And the last one, debit bank service charges, 20. This is the expenses, credit bank to record bank service charges. Okay, that's all. So we have finished our bank reconciliation for the revision for this week. So, habis. So, diorang ni ada question tak? So, saya baca the message. Sampai mana tadi kita message? Good morning. Nurina dah baca. Hadira, good morning. So, siapa yang dah betul semua for your answer, bank reconciliation, can you write down? Betul semua? Kalau saya sempatlah baca. Okay, Zulaika, good morning. Ni saya baca tadi kan. Nurul Nadila, okay, cikgu dan okay. Hai cikgu Ifah. Ifah, ada nama Nur Ifah? Okay. Nurina. Okay, habis. So, saya harap, I hope that all of you understand this topic, especially you must know before you prepare the bank reconciliation, conclusion dia kamu ada 5 step. Number 1, you must compare the ending balance of bank statement with cash book. Number 2, you must compare the debit item in the cash book with the credit item in the bank statement. So you can find out the deposit in transit. Number 3, you must compare the credit item in the cash book with the debit item in the bank statement. Kalau credit item tu ialah outstanding check. Number 4, you must find out any error. Normally, the company will make an error in the cash book. And the last one, number 5, we have to prepare the bank statement, and sometimes you have to prepare the adjustment journal entry. Okay, that's all. So, ni SWFS. Betul. Apa yang betul? Okay, lambat. Okay, now kita dah habis sampai penghujungnya. So, sebelum mengakhiri saya punya ni saya menjemput saudara Irfan untuk menamatkan dengan bacaan doa.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal innal insana lafi hus illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bil sabr.
Okay,
Sadaqallahul
itu saja.
azim.
Kita jumpa lagi next section, next sesi. So, kita jumpa. Bye semua. Bye semua.